know, it's Father's Day. It's freaking Father's Day. I don't know if this was on purpose. If it wasn't for that schedule skip where they skipped the week, this episode would have came out last Sunday. But said it had to come out this Sunday. Was this a coincidence? Was it planned? I don't know. This is a lot of trends was happening online today, and it was them talking about this. Like, oh my god, it's like the most action we have seen in a long time in Mushoku Tensei, because Mushoku Tensei isn't an action-oriented TV show. It's a story about a man's life from birth to death. That's the entire point of Mushoku Tensei. A true lease on life. Something where a lot of second chance isekais get. But since this was a heavily action-oriented episode, I bet a lot of people are going to get into it. A lot of people are going to talk about it. Yeah, that's just how it is. Unfortunately, people just can't just stay around, just enjoy the life journey itself, and there's just some action in it. It's just ridiculous. But hey, I guess more the merrier. But yeah, man, this was some very Dungeon and Dragons 101 strategy guide right here, man. Like, these guys were looking after each other. They were fighting, coming up with strategies, retreating when it was necessary. Because I can understand Paul, man. Paul was focused, he had that tunnel vision. He had where he wanted to rescue Zenith so badly, because that's the one thing he just couldn't get. He got everyone else back but Zenith. And he tried so hard. He sees her after so long. After so many years. Like, the sisters are pretty much in middle school. Reese is married and about to have a child and stuff. And no sign of Zenith. Think about it. The girls were just little girls when that terrible accident happened. And they're about to give up hope until finally he sees her. And even if didn't survive in that frozen ice, that crystal state, he still wanted to retrieve the body no matter what. But it was being guarded, of course, by a Hydra. But a Hydra that absorbs mana. It absorbs mana. So this thing was not easy to take down. This one doesn't know, I'll overpower you. This was, I had to use brains, and they had to think about it, what to do. And to take down this Hydra usually gains more heads. But at this time, to make sure it didn't heal at all, they did something very smart, as a page from Hercules. Smear the wound. Destroy the wound to the point it becomes unhealable. When you smear a wound, you get damage. It stops the bleeding and stuff. So, but you can work on it, I guess, how it is, The tissue is dead in that area. It's burnt. So that's what he's did. Paul was the first line of defense, along with Alina Laze, and they were fighting this thing, cutting off his heads, and Rudius was just smearing it. Rocky's going around, she's healing. Geese is pulling off the strategies, and Tall Hand's backing up some support here. Everyone has their role. Everyone's busy keeping. They're getting injured, but they're being healed, man. And Paul's just out there like a beast, man. Paul showing how he is good, and Paul's only like what? I think he's close to sword. He's close to sword king. He's probably sword emperor, sword king, but I believe he is sword. He's close to sword king. But he should be a saint, but he's above saint. I know that. Because his skills are crazy for a sword saint now. Because we know Ghislaine, the Catwoman, she's freaking sword emperor. And you already know how beast she is, man. So seeing Paul like this, just imagine if they had Ghislaine in this party, man. If Ghislaine was in this party, it would have been over. Because, she can do moves that can just destroy someone at the speed of light. So it really sucks they couldn't find her, but, that's just how it is. And everyone was careful. No matter how careful you are, no matter how prepared you are, you can cross your T's and dot your I's. dies, shit's gonna hit the fan. And there's nothing you can do about it. It really is nothing you can do about it. And it really sucks because it's not like no one slipped up. It's not like no one did anything bad or screwed up. There's no one to blame in this situation. Everyone did exactly what they were supposed to do. But no matter what, something can always happen. And it won't be your fault. Sometimes things just happen, man, and they're terrible. They're terrible, you know? When all things after the conclusion, you're stuck with your thoughts saying, but I did everything right. I prepared. I was watching my guard. I was keeping sure everyone was safe. Everyone was doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So how did this still happen? How? Because it just did, man. I know it sucks, but no one knew what was going to happen with the Hydra. Paul came in and saved Rudius and took the fall. Rudius lost an arm. And of course, and then you saw Paul, he lost his arm, but he was okay with that. Rudius was okay with that. He was thinking of the positives at that time. It was great. He wasn't freaking out like some would. He's like, I lost an arm, but not only we defeat this very near impossible defeatable creature, we rescued our mom. So, yeah, man, that's a win for me. He says, yeah, man, thanks, Dad. Oh, yeah, when he turns around and everyone's quiet because the dad's dead, man. Paul is dead. Paul wanted to save Zenith so badly. More than anyone, but he did it to save his son. And right when Paul dies, Zenith breaks free. Zenith freaking breaks free. Oh my goodness. And they had to burn his body. They couldn't bury it. They had to burn his body in the labyrinth. Because when someone dies in the labyrinth, if you leave them there, the mana in that labyrinth will take over their body and turn them into a monster. So they have to burn the body there with magic fire, or else, I already said what would happen. That really, really sucks. And Zenith didn't even wake up for 4 days. And she just finally does. And you see how she's like at least Zenith is here, and then she has that special language she's putting out that like, oh my god. When I saw that, I saw this coming. You already know I've been reading the novel for years. I'm reading shit for years. So I knew it was happening, but still, when it did happen in animation formats, I was like, damn. Will I still act the same when it happens in anime? I know what impact will it have when it hits manga formation, but I guess people won't be looking forward to it when it comes to manga formation because it already happens in the anime, So we'll see how they execute that. But Paul's death is just gonna affect his family, man, or his friends. Paul saved a lot of people during the Mana Calamity. He saved a lot of people. Heck, I don't know if I told you, one girl that she had her eyes covered with her hair and she broke down crying? Yeah, I don't know if I told you this, but that girl went through a lot during the Mana Calamity. Her and her best friend were put in a place where they were captured as sex slaves and they did terrible things to her. So the woman with the short hair would wear exposed clothing so they would look at her instead of the girl with the covered up eyes because of her traumatic experience. Paul saved them both. So they looked up to Paul. A lot of people looked up to Paul because he was out here pulling in that work. He wasn't just focused on Zenith. He was saving a lot of people, helping them find life and homes and stuff. And he was tired. He was always just tired. And now look what happened. Dude, it's crazy that even happened. So if word of him dies, a lot of people are going to take it that certain type of way because the amount of he put into them and stuff. They're always going to remember Paul as the guy who stepped up when no one else could to help everybody else during the Mana Calamity. He stepped up and he did a job that a lot of people could have done. There's a lot of nobles in that world with power, and none of them really did anything about it during Monocalamity. They could have done something. Instead, they were just pointing fingers, taking blame. That's why Eris's grandfather was executed. Instead of trying to solve the problem and trying to fix things up, all they cared about was pointing fingers and getting people killed so they can take their position and gain more power. That's all they cared about. Sounds familiar? Yeah. But this man, who all he had to do was focus on his own family, created a party, an association, to help find people and bring them back together or find them new lives. He did that for a long time. And there's a reason why Norn looks up to him. Because he did something very noble indeed. Even though he himself is a fallen noble, he did something up high that no noble themselves would have done. Think about it. You see all these nobles in Rudius's life now, and none of them were affected by the Monocalamity. None of them talked about the Monocalamity. None of them cared about the Monocalamity. I guess they were free from it. Only those who were in that area had to take full responsibility. And I'm really not focusing on that is because you really got to think about what Paul left behind. He didn't just leave behind 3 amazing kids, 2 wives, and stuff, and good friends. He left behind a legacy, an association that gave a hand to people who was not given a hand after that terrible incident. He did so much for those people, and he should be remembered and honored for his deeds. You know, he was a slip-up. He was a jokester. And the thing I liked about this is that not all heroes are good guys. You know, these pure high hope, can't do no wrong, good guy you always see, especially in shonens and all that time. He was a slimeball at times. He was a douchebag at times. But he stood up when it mattered. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that. He put his money where his mouth is when it mattered, and he helped those people. That's one thing I always remember about Paul. You know, sure, he acted like a jerk here and there, but guess what? The bigger picture and all, he did what he had to do. He did what no one else was willing to do. And that's good. And he died protecting his son, his pride and joy, his firstborn son. Is this what Hitagami was talking about? This is what he was talking about, saying you'll regret it if you go there. Not only did Rudy lose an arm, he lost his dad. Maybe if he didn't show up, maybe they would have saved Zenith. Paul wouldn't have died. And Rudy's wouldn't have lost an arm. And Paul and them will come back saying, I saved the day, I did it. And they all could have their party like Paul wanted to. And sure, Zenith will try to be in her same state she's in right now. But hey, they're all together and they'll figure something else out. That's what they do. But now they can't do that. Maybe it's because Rudius didn't listen to Hitagami. He should have listened to what Hitagami was saying and say, oh, don't go, you'll regret it. Best is choose another wife instead. But he didn't do that. Rudius, because Norm pretty much pushed him towards it. So people are saying, so it's Norm's fault? Who knows, man? I'm not saying that, but hey, she was there. Don't blame Norn. Damn. But anyways, oh man. Yeah, man. This episode, another fantastic banger. I gotta love it. It's wonderful. This is a wonderful episode. It was great. Very emotional, very strong, high point, you know, like, we're so close to saving Zenith. And we did, and at what cost? At the end of the day, what cost? Wow. What an episode, man. What an episode. Well, that's all I got for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course. Hit that bell icon. This is the background on anime. Signing out.